what's the next car? You know, obviously a lot of these project car channels, us included, you know, we try to see what's next. I don't know, maybe not a Volvo next time. Thank you guys so much for your support and for everyone that has supported this channel over the last 2 years. I will catch you next time. See ya. Just kidding. Shifting Lanes would like to thank this month's sponsor, Avalon King Armor Shield 9. Check the link in the description below to go to their website and see their ceramic coating next level product, Armor Shield 9. Use code SHIFT25 to receive $25 off your purchase of Armor Shield 9. We have this on our cars and it is an amazing product. Get yours today. Check the link in the description below or go to avalonking.com and use code SHIFT25. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. And today is a really exciting day because we bought a Volvo 240. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, please consider hitting the subscribe button because this is going to be ridiculous. If you know this channel, then you know that we are Volvo aficionados here. We are Volvo enthusiasts and we love Volvos. Myself particularly because I now have 3 of them. We have this, we have the V70R, and we have my XC90, which is the newer generation. But I never had a classic, but now the channel does. Shifting Lanes finally owns a classic Volvo in the classic Volvo sense that this thing is basically a classic. It's almost 30 years old. This is a 1990 Volvo 240DL, and I am going to basically go over everything about this car over the next 3 to 5 videos. Today I'm going to give you a quick walk around of it. It's been sitting here at our friend's Blue Sky Performance and Restorations shop for about a year. And believe it or not, it ran when it was parked. A lot of these cars, you know, the red blocks, they're very legendary for being really durable. So I wanted to see if that held true at all. It literally hasn't been started since last September. I'm shooting this in August of 2019. So anyone in future watching this, it's sat for a year and nothing has happened with it. So it needs a battery right now. The battery was dead. I have a battery. We're gonna chuck it in there in the next episode and see if we can get it running. But for now, let's take the camera off the tripod, walk around this thing, and show you what we got for our money. And honestly, it's in pretty good shape. So without further ado, here's our new, to us, Volvo 240. So like I said, this is our new to us Volvo 240 DL wagon. And of course it had to be a wagon with my Volvo V70R sitting right there. This is a 1990 Volvo wagon. This is arguably the greatest daily driver ever made, but I will get into that a little bit later. What this has is basically an inline 4-cylinder from Volvo. We're gonna crack this thing open next episode, so be sure to stay tuned for the next one that comes out. We'll open the engine bay, we'll take a look at everything. We gotta get this thing running and moved away from these giant weeds before we can actually do anything to it or see how anything is going. But you can see that this thing actually is not in horrible shape. We have some aftermarket wheels. These are wheels actually off of a Trans Am with some stretch tires on it. Obviously we're gonna need to get a little bit better fitment, but wheels look pretty cool. Maybe a powder coating and maybe even keep those to keep costs down. The body actually doesn't look to be in too bad shape. Obviously on a 30-year-old car, you're gonna get some peeling from the trim, which that has. We have some pretty ridiculous, you know, dried paint work and plastic work. Everything's sort of like cracked, but honestly, it's in pretty good shape. Before we go inside, we'll take a look around. We've got some rust here. Maybe this needs to be replaced, this body panel. I actually really like the white. The clear coat is pretty much gone from this whole car. You can kind of see it up here on the roof, maybe not. Definitely see it in the back. I'll show you that in a second, but I really like this blue pinstriping down the side. I think it's a really kind of cool look for this car. And the Volvos in general. I like Volvos in white. Everything's sort of faded here. That's the old plate. We'll take a look. This thing opens. Back hatch opens. We got the rear tail light is all janky. That probably just needs to be remounted. Yep, that's not really in great shape, but yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of rust on this thing from at first glance. Obviously we've got some here in the wells of the trunk, but not too bad, honestly. The glass didn't crack when I just smashed that thing down. Here, that's good. Here's where the clear coat's kind of coming up. You can kind of see it's flaking off a little bit. Let that adjust. So this thing, yeah, so there you go. There's some clear coat flaking off, but the roof looks to be in pretty decent shape. Nothing looks like it's ever smashed on top of it like the V70R. Otherwise, the front looks pretty good. Honestly, the stance of this thing is pretty nice. I'm a huge fan of how these poked out wheels and tires kind of look on this thing, and maybe a little bit lower, and you're talking about a really nice sort of stance to this, and it's already pretty low to the ground. You know, I think 30-year-old design and car, it's not bad. The what's it called? What are these things? Lights, yeah, those things. These are all caked out. We've got some water in here. They're all oxidized. We just need to hit this with a buffer pad and do a wet sand on it. But otherwise, honestly, this really does not look too bad. Let's hop inside and we'll see what we're working with on the interior, which to me is probably the best part about the car, because inside it looks really, really good for its age. These seats there's some staining on them, but they're in really, there's no tears at all. There's no tears. The headliner is intact. I mean, just look at this thing. For the money, I think we picked up an absolute gem. Now, obviously these things can be restored, and that's what we're gonna try to do with this, hopefully. But I'll get to that in a minute. We have, is that heated seats? This thing has freaking heated seats? I don't know much about Volvo 240s, honestly. It's why I bought it. I want to learn more about these cars. So tell me, are these heated seats? That would be freaking awesome. Gauge cluster looks to be in good shape. We have, you know, all of this is in amazing shape. The mirror's cracked. The mirror's cracked from that. We've got some extra switches and gauges in here. We have a whole bunch of receipts that we can go through. Oh man, this is a treasure trove. Hey, free Allen wrench. Everyone needs more of those. We have an aftermarket stereo. Again, it's pretty clean in here, apart from the dirt. I mean, obviously, oh, there's some cigarette burns. There's a thing missing there, but honestly, guys, I'm kind of staggered as to how good of shape this thing is in. It's been sitting for a year. Nothing's been done to it. And we have another spare set of seats. These are really good front seats too. We have a bench seat that we can get up. Nice cobweb there. Yeah, the bench seat. Wow, look at the shape this thing's in. I can't even believe this. Oh, something's been living in here. That looks like rat droppings or rat stuff. Oh yeah, there's another. Maybe a squirrel or a rat was living in here for the winter. Still, could be worse. Could be a fire damaged Lambo. Sorry, Freddie. Yeah, getting further back here, I mean, look at the back of this bench seat. I'm like sort of at a loss. Like, I can't believe how good this looks. I mean, I know Volvos are legendary for their, you know, toughness and reliability and everything, but holy crap, guys, I think we may have struck a gold mine with this thing. And on that note, that pretty much sums up the whole first look of this thing. So let's put the camera back on the tripod, because I have a problem with this car and I don't really know how to kind of tee it up. So let's put the camera back on and let me explain as to what the big problem is with this thing. So here's the big problem with this car. Don't have any idea what to do with it, but that's sort of a nice problem to have, because you see all of these car channels like Tavarish and Hoovie's Garage and Doug DeMuro and all these, and they have they have a really specific purpose that they want to go to with their cars. They buy a car, they do this. Doug gets a car, he reviews it. You know what you're getting. Hoovie buys a car, you know you're getting, you know, what it's like to own. So what do you guys want to see with this car? Because there's a whole bunch of things we can do with this thing. I would love to do a full restoration on it. I'd love to do a crazy swap where we do like an LS, a 2J, an RB26, something totally insane. I think a really cool engine swap in these would be great. We could also turbo the living hell out of this engine and see what we can do, and if the red block can really hold up to being that reliable, you know, indestructible kind of motor while throwing a ton of boost at it. I could also basically daily drive it. What's it like to daily drive a 30-year-old car? I want to hear from you guys. So in the link in the description below, there will be a link to a YouTube and Instagram poll. If you don't know, and if you don't follow us, go follow us on Instagram at Shifting Lanes, where we do a ton of different content for you outside of YouTube. But we'll also have a poll there where you can vote on what you want to see done to this car. I think it'll be really interesting to see what you guys want to see, and then maybe do a few of those things, do a few of those ideas, because I know what I want to do for the first 5 videos of this thing. I want to get it running, I want to take it for a first drive, I want to see what it's like as it sits, and then kind of maybe go from there. But that's pretty much it. After that, I'm really not sure as to what I want to do, because there's so many directions you can go with this car, with swaps and manual swaps and engine swaps and full restoration, custom colors, do a ton of wheels, but it's all stuff that's been done before. But I don't know, maybe you guys want to see it chronicled on this car. That will do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching the intro. I can't wait to make the next few to give you guys sort of a, you know, what's what about this thing, and sort of a history lesson, because I'm going to dive into these cars and see exactly where they came from, why they're so good, and why I believe that it's the best daily driver of all time. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next time. See ya.